What is up, guys? Welcome back. It is July 6th. I'm Kevin Krates. If you guys are new here, we go over crypto news. We look at 5 charts every day, always starting off with Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're going to be taking a quick look at Bitcoin, Ethereum. We're going to revisit AAVE. We looked at that yesterday, and it is moving pretty much as we talked about. We're going to take a quick look at MATIC as well as SNX, which is just on a moon mission right now. So we're going to take a quick look at these charts. On top of that, we are also going to be visiting the Ichimoku Cloud for all 5 of these because there is some stuff going on that is pretty interesting. I've queued up a podcast clip here for you guys from Anthony Pompliano's podcast with Kevin OLeary from about a month and a bit ago, where they were talking about DeFi. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I've been talking about DeFi on and off for a while. I'm just going to play this clip and we're going to talk about why that is relevant to what is happening in the market today. I've kind of queued it up to this point here. So just have a quick listen to this, guys.
But here's the thing that everybody should understand, because I live in this world. The potential is huge. You've got less than 1% of global corporations even thinking about crypto right now. Mm-hmm. So as time passes and they see examples of what I'm doing and others are doing, and they start to tiptoe in, you're talking about billions of dollars that are sitting on balance sheets making nothing. And so it's going to become, that's good and bad news, because the more money goes into that, the less yield you're going to be making. There's going to be.
So what Kevin OLeary is talking about here in reference to yields and the billions of dollars sitting on balance sheets that are doing nothing is all about DeFi. And that's important to what's going on today, since we're looking at AAVE, SNX, and Ethereum. So SNX is up a little over 70% just in the last 3 days. Or not the last 3 days, sorry, just in the last week. But that is a pretty big deal, as well as AAVE. You can see they've had similar weeks. These are just, let me just hide these here for a sec, guys. These were the notes from yesterday. And as I said, if it breaks above, if it starts to push towards 315, I would look to go long there. You can kind of see it's already getting pushed back down though. Considering Ethereum's hard fork ends tomorrow, and I'm expecting extreme dumpage following that, I wouldn't be jumping into any of these at the moment, but it's important that we take a look at why AAVE, SNX, Ethereum, even MATIC, which has been kind of stale for a while, are very important to what's going on here in DeFi. And we're going to kind of take a quick look at this website called DeFi Llama. So we touched up a bit on DeFi Llama a little bit yesterday. You guys might call it DeFi Llama. Whichever way you say the word llama doesn't really matter. It's just a website that gives you a overview of all the different DeFi platforms and the rank. AAVE used to be number 1 by far, and recently it's been flipped by Curve Finance, even less than yesterday. I mean, they're pretty neck and neck in terms of leading the DeFi space for the moment. They're multi-chain. You can kind of see what they're on Ethereum. There's Binance, PancakeSwap, which is, I'm pretty sure, unless Compound Finance. No, Compound Finance is also Ethereum. So, PancakeSwap being leading the charge in Binance DeFi. I'm sure you're all familiar with that one. Compound Finance has been having a great week. You guys have been following that. Actually haven't heard about this one, InstaDApp. There's so many of these. And if you look down here, there is Synthetics, which is the one we're going to be looking at today. And if you guys take a look at the Synthetics website, recently over 1 billion locked, and it's all DeFi. And in my opinion, I've been saying this for a while, DeFi and NFTs are going to be what builds mass adoption into the crypto space. And that clip we just watched from the podcast with Kevin OLeary is him talking about the billions of dollars sitting on the sidelines that are waiting to get into DeFi. Because it's, trying to figure out if it's going to be Cardano, Polkadot, or Ethereum is all fun and games, but DeFi brings in an instant attraction to money, as in you can earn money on your money at a very nice rate of percentage return. It's not like putting your money into a checkings account and getting 0.002%. You put your money into a pool on PancakeSwap, even $1,000, and you're earning $4 or $5 a day, $35 a week. You're earning $150 a month for just putting $1,000 into an account like you would a bank. Now, there is obviously the risk of fluctuation in price with crypto, but looking at the long-term game of what crypto and DeFi is, DeFi is where, in my opinion, most things are going to start. And that is what we are seeing in the market recently. When you see things like AAVE taking off, when you see things like SNX taking off, when you see things like even Ethereum, which is currently leading the market. And we're going to start off by looking at Ethereum and go from there. So considering we've taken a look at Ethereum, which is at the moment honestly dictating the market, in my opinion, let's look at Bitcoin now and see how Bitcoin is kind of responding. So let's take a look at Bitcoin's daily chart here. So Bitcoin, it's on this weird up and down trend. I'll kind of zoom out and I'll show it to you guys on the daily so you guys kind of see what I'm looking at. I've been following this downtrend in the RSI right here. You guys can kind of see it. It goes all the way back to January, which is honestly kind of odd to me. I don't know if this is maybe the life cycle of these bull runs. You know, I mean, the bull run really did start around here back in January. I'd say things really, I mean, technically you could say it started off late December, but January is where things really took off, and most retail and Elon, everything kind of happened around here, and it was just a crazy run up. Even if you look at the Ichimoku Cloud, it's the same thing. January is kind of where things take off. But it is interesting to watch this very visually obvious downward trend in the RSI leading all the way from January all the way to today. And the question is, if you take a look here, we're going to zoom in on the RSI. So May 19th, that big crazy crash where everybody woke up with 60% of everything they own missing. Ever since then, the RSI has been trending back up. So it's getting to this point, which is going to be around, I don't know, July 14th, where we're going to either get confirmation of this uptrend or we're going to get confirmation that this downtrend is very real, which is kind of happening at the moment here. You can see it just keeps bouncing up against it, but it could also just be bouncing against the 50 RSI resistance that we've kind of taken a look at for a while as well. So as far as Bitcoin goes, I mean, I'm still expecting 32. You can kind of see the daily candle showing downward pressure. How the stochastic RSI is also pretty high, but it's riding support. So let's take a quick look at the 4 hour and see what's going on here. So the 4 hour it's not bad. It's got room to pump still, but because the daily is so capped in terms of the RSI, like for it to push towards 36, 37, even 39, the RSI would have to spike pretty high, and that would invalidate this downtrend, which it has not done yet. So I'm kind of keeping a close eye on this, and you guys can as well, because it is a big question mark. If there is a price spike in Ethereum, then we would see a price spike in Bitcoin potentially. But it looks like Bitcoin is hanging on to this downtrend for now, and for that very reason, it's limiting Ethereum's push towards 2,500, which would have easily been a no-issue price target with the London hard fork. So for now, as far as as far as Bitcoin goes on the 4 hour, the stochastic RSI is low. It's got about another 24, 30, maybe 48 hours left in this helping hand from Ethereum. And then I'm expecting the price to start trending back down. And as it trends back down, I still think 36 is possible. I don't think 37 is possible anymore. Even 36, to be honest, is more of a cap on this moving average if it does end up coming here. So I would say maybe a push towards 35 at best, but because of the daily RSI, it's more likely that Bitcoin's going to kind of keep hanging around this 34, 33, maybe push towards 35 area leading up to the last test net for Ethereum, and then 32 is going to be my first price target. And then how it reacts to 32, what the RSI is doing on the downtrend, all those things I'll take into account, and we'll figure out the next target from there. But for now, somewhere in the next day or so, I'm expecting Bitcoin to end up around 32,000. So let's also just take a quick look at the Ichimoku Cloud for Bitcoin. And we're going to take a quick look at the daily, and we'll take a look at the 4 hour. So I mean, as you guys can see here, same deal. It's still a very thick cloud. It has caused resistance here. It's probably going to cause resistance here. It already is. If you zoom in and see, look at the pressure on that candle there. Stochastic RSI is pretty high on the daily too. So how much of a push up can it have to get through this cloud? Probably not much. I mean, at best, it'll keep kind of trending along here. It might have a shot. As you guys can kind of see, the cloud's thinning out here. So it's possible late August, early September for there to be something, but the weekly on Bitcoin is something, I see a lot of things trending on Twitter, and I see a lot of things online about how great Bitcoin looks on long-term or longer time frames. And I don't necessarily agree. I think it looks scarier on longer time frames. You guys can kind of see the clouds pretty thin here. I mean, all the other indicators, this is bad. This cross here, this is not good. You don't want to see that. However, because this line is still back here, but you guys can kind of see it's headed in here. This is these are indicators to be kind of weary of. It's not. This is a thin level of resistance in the cloud, as in if it goes through the cloud, you don't really want to trade, and it could go lower. And it's kind of crazy also to see, my price target's always been in the low 20s. If it, it could dip down to about 27 still and maybe bounce back up. I'd imagine the same way on the daily that we see resistance going into the cloud around here. It's the same thing with support, right? Like if we look at price action back here, we had a couple bounces against the cloud in this area here, kind of around here. So if we do approach the weekly, which we are, there might be some bounces in price, but how long this will hold is kind of a question mark, guys. And 28, 27, if it goes there again, we could probably see a good bounce. It's going to run into resistance here around 42 if it ends up getting up there. And then at the end of the day, there could be this fall through in price, which could end up around 25,000. And those are things to be worried about. So Bitcoin still, it looks rough. It's not horrible. It could could turn things around. Don't get me wrong, but for the time being, my price targets for Bitcoin are around 32,000. So let's take a look at Ethereum's one-day chart here, guys. So we did talk about Ethereum yesterday. It's moving pretty much as expected. We were expecting it to kind of hang along this support line and potentially try to push towards 2,500. But when we did look at the Ichimoku Cloud, we did see that there might be some resistance in this area. We're going to take a quick look at that again today, but let's just go over some things in this chart. So it is still hanging along this line here, as we talked about. The stochastic RSI also high, but it's got support. It's got room to pump. But judging off the other charts that we looked at yesterday, this might cap around 2,400. But let's just take a quick closer look at that chart right now. Actually, since we're talking about it, let me just pull up Ethereum here for you guys. So here's the Ichimoku Cloud, or the Kumo Cloud, which is this cloud here. And it still has room to pump. If we look at the daily here, it could come to about 2,500, which is where I've capped that. I don't think it's going to be able to push into the cloud. I don't think it's going to have much room to pump. Bitcoin is kind of in that same place. You can see it's getting pushed down. And these clouds are thick, guys. This is not something that will easily be surpassed. It's going to take a lot of volume, and I don't currently see Bitcoin or Ethereum having that. The only reason that Ethereum is pumping the way it's pumping is because of the London hard fork, and that ends as of tomorrow. So sometime later tomorrow, I am expecting price to kind of trend back down. But I'm just showing you guys the space that Ethereum still has to pump does go to about 2,500. You can see right here. But anything above that, even if it peaks in, I don't think it's going to have enough juice behind it to get through the cloud. I don't think it's going to be able to get back to an extremely bullish state. It is possible, but for the time being, I'm still capping this push around 2,500. Yesterday, we did say around 2,300, considering if it came this way. But taking a closer look at it here, even on the 4-hour, it has room. And again, I wanted to show you guys this yesterday, that Ethereum is well above the cloud on the 4 hours, whereas Bitcoin is kind of hanging in there. And Bitcoin is pulling the whole market down. It's kind of bouncing off support in here, but Ethereum is pulling everything up, and that's Ethereum with DeFi. And DeFi and Ethereum are so hand in hand. And the reason that MATIC kind of changed the game for DeFi is because every transaction on the Ethereum network has always been expensive, and obviously with the upgrades, that's going to change. But MATIC opened the door to things like AAVE and Curve Finance to really take off, because now DeFi became available to the average person, and every transaction went from being a ridiculously expensive gas fee to just being fractions of a penny. So at the moment, I don't think this little bull run that we're having, or this little like bullish week that we're having thanks to Ethereum, is going to last too much longer after tomorrow. If it does manage to get to 2,500, that would be great. But over the next couple days or the next day or so, let's take a quick look at the 4-hour here. It's taking a look at the 4-hour chart. It's kind of riding the 200 EMA here. It's got room to pump. You guys can kind of see down here, the stochastic RSI is low, but it is kind of curving downwards. I don't think, we'll take a look at Bitcoin in a moment, but I don't think Bitcoin is in a position to allow Ethereum to pump as high as we would expect it to here. If things were different, 2,500 would be an easy target and it would go off from there, but I think it's going to be kind of capped around 2,400 here, kind of do something here, and then work its way back down to about 2,000, and then maybe 1,990, and then potentially even 1,700 again down here in a few days. But 1,990 is still the target price for Ethereum. All right, let's take a look at AAVE, guys. We're going to take a quick look at AAVE, MATIC, and SNX still. And again, if you guys could leave me a comment down below. This is a new YouTube channel, so I'm trying to get the format down for you guys. Both my videos have been pretty long. I'm assuming this one's probably going to end up being kind of long too. So let me know how you guys feel about long form versus short form content, and what would you guys prefer to see. But that being said, let's just kind of speed through AAVE, MATIC, and SNX. We talked about AAVE yesterday. Here's AAVE on the daily. We looked at all this. We said if it pushed towards 300, if it pushed towards 315, not a bad time to go long. It went up to about, looks like it went to about 347 there. So what is going to happen from here is the question, but it's really not much of a question because of what's going on with Ethereum and Bitcoin. Ethereum's got about another 24 hours worth of pumping left. If for whatever reason it pumps after the testnet is over, that would be pretty unlikely. I don't see that being the case, but we'll look at some bullish scenarios as well. So in terms of price action for AAVE, if it pushes up, which is again unlikely, guys, we're going to just take a quick look here. So you can see here, I was looking at this line here and it's already kind of bounced off of here. So this is about 353. So if it manages to somehow get back above 350 and build some kind of support here, then you can take a look for it to push towards 389, 390. And if it breaks above 390, there's a bit of resistance, but you can start to look for a clear shot into the 500s. But with the state of the market, I don't think that's a likely scenario, but it's one to watch for. DeFi, AAVE, Ethereum, these things seem to be wanting to do their own things. Stochastic RSI is pretty high. The RSI, like I said yesterday, straight moon mission right back into uptrend territory. But if we take a closer look at the 4 hours for AAVE, let's see what we're seeing here. I got to delete those lines. Sorry about that, guys. Let's take a quick look at the 4 hours for AAVE. So yeah, AAVE is running into resistance about 350. It's going to now bounce off of this support around 319, and where it goes from there is all dependent on Bitcoin and Ethereum. But again, look at this RSI, sky high, and same with the stochastic RSI. So we're most likely expecting a pullback. The 200 EMA might catch it, so I would look for support around, let's take a look here, guys, 273, 275 would be the support line I would expect it to come back towards. I don't think 300 is going to hold. Around the time that I'm expecting Bitcoin to go to 32K and Ethereum to drop to about 1990, I would put the first target for AAVE in, if it doesn't end up pushing higher, which is unlikely, but do watch those numbers. If it does build support above 350, it's not a bad time to try and take a shot for 380 and above. However, I'm going to say most likely 350 is going to be the cap for what's going on here. And as things trend back downwards, I could see 280 being the target, and how things bounce off of 280 depends on how Bitcoin reacts to 32K, if that is the target. If Bitcoin goes below 32K, I would again look for AAVE to test these lower supports around 196, 200. But currently, these are the targets I'd be watching for AAVE. So if it does manage to get above 350, that's great, but I'm not expecting that to happen. 315 is also not a bad place to start looking at the downward side. So 280 would be the first target. And if 280 doesn't hold, we're probably going to drop back down to 196. All right, let's take a quick look at Actually, start with MATIC. We're also going to look at the Ichimoku Cloud on all three of these, but I just wanted to kind of plow through the basic charts first and then show you guys what I'm seeing over there. So MATIC, I've been trading MATIC forever. You guys can see way back here in February. MATIC is a long-term hold for me. I think MATIC has a lot of potential. I do have question marks about some things about the long-term success of MATIC, but I think there's a lot there. I think it's no mystery that MATIC could be a big winner in the crypto space. And I mean, it already kind of is. You can compare it to BNB, right? BNB went from under $100 and just flew up to about, what was it about? BNB reached a high of well above 500. Let's take a quick look at BNB, shall we? BNB went up to close to about $700, really the high 690s. But MATIC is the same as BNB in my mind because it is a token with utility. And what I mean by that is if we are in a bull market or bear market, you still need to buy and spend MATIC and BNB. That is the reason they bounce back so well after big crashes. The same with, some different plays like Kusama is another one. We'll touch on that in the future, but there's certain coins that in the event of a big crash, they tend to fly up in price, and they fly up in price because there's a utility for them, as in people need them. I mean, that's the thing about crypto that people seem to kind of skip over is there a utility for your token? I mean, the other one is the company actually making any profits? But, you look at something like VeChain. People get very excited about VeChain. Again, I'm holding VeChain, no shade to VeChain, but I'm saying that the partnerships of VeChain are already factored into the price. There is no bad news about VeChain, right? Everything you generally hear about VeChain is big partnerships, big deals, and they're a useful small company, but their token currently still doesn't have any utility, except for, I believe, getting some Vethos. But the question is, what do people need to use the token or coin on a daily basis? And when you look at things like BNB or MATIC or Ethereum even, the reason they have a level of success is because there is a daily use for their token. People still need BNB to buy meme coins. People need to buy BNB to buy random coins off PancakeSwap, which happens on a daily basis. So that ecosystem that infrastructure for the coin makes a massive difference in the coin not only being able to maintain a decent price, but also push up in value. But putting that little TED Talks aside, let's just take a quick look at the charts. So MATIC on the lower end has now wicked down to about 91 cents, right? On the lowest end here, MATIC wicked all the way down on, that big early May crash to about 73 cents, but it has been trending downwards. So let's take a quick look at the daily chart here and see what we can come up with. So currently it's hanging on to this support around 110. And I would look honestly for 91 as my target, considering everything that's going on. If it does somehow manage to push above towards 139, it could start to push itself up there. But if you look at the MATIC chart on the daily, see how it's well above the 200 EMA. MATIC's one of those charts like Solana, ADA, they still look very good for the year, unlike Bitcoin. Ethereum honestly doesn't even look that bad. But because Bitcoin still dictates the market, it's still going to pull down price action. So that being the case, if MATIC somehow there is some kind of bullish push in price with Ethereum towards 2,500, I could see MATIC getting up to about 122. But again, I'm going to cap that there and say that MATIC probably won't go too much higher than 122. It will probably work its way back down to about 91 cents if there is a crash towards 32K. MATIC might be able to hold around $1, but I would start to put my targets in the low 90s if you guys want to pick up more MATIC. See how the 200 EMA is going to cap it here. So if there is a big crash, I would look for in the 70s would be my target. But for now, I would say the target for MATIC in the coming weeks is going to be around 89 to 90 cents. However, if there is a bullish turnaround in the market, I would look for it to get above 122, build support there, and then it should have a clear shot to about 140. All right, guys, let's take a look at SNX now. So SNX was a DeFi play. We kind of talked about DeFi at the start of this video. If you're not paying attention to DeFi, start. If DeFi is confusing, don't worry. It is confusing. I remember the first time I started using PancakeSwap. PancakeSwap, if you have access to Binance or if you have access to the Binance Smart Chain, is a good place to start to get familiar with very basic DeFi. If you missed out on the glory days of AAVE, for those of you that don't know, AAVE was pretty much paying people to borrow money. It was good stuff, but the rewards didn't last long. As more money comes into the DeFi space, the yields, as in the rate of return on your money, is going to drop. So the earlier you can get into DeFi, the better, because the more money is in it for you. DeFi, at a very basic way of explaining it, which we can always do in a future video, but just to kind of touch on it one last time before we move on here. It's like banking without the banks, and crypto's position is to move the middleman out of the way. And by removing the middleman, you cut costs. And when you cut costs, you save profits. And at a very, very surface level, to explain what DeFi is, it's banking with much better returns. It's banking with much higher returns. And it's a place to put your money where instead of getting 0.0005% a year on your money in your checkings account, you could earn 100% APR. You could earn 200% APR. If you're yield farming, you could earn crazy percentages. Now, there's a lot of scams. As you guys remember, Iron Finance. We can always circle back to that eventually. But Iron Finance was one. There's a lot of rug pulls, so you got to be careful. But there are legitimate DeFi plays that are always worth looking into. But let's just look at the charts now and see what the price targets are for SNX. So $12 is seemed to be where it's capped. It's also kind of run into the 200 EMA here, not surprising. So where are the levels that it's going to be pulling back to are the question. So let's kind of just pop these out real quick for you guys. So in the event that the market somehow stays bullish, or even if DeFi and SNX want to just continue to do its own thing, I would look first for it to build some level of support above here. If somehow SNX builds a level of support above $12, $13 and gets above this 200 EMA on the 1 day and makes a push for about, around $15 and gets above there, that would be very interesting. But considering the state of the market, considering what I'd assume is going to happen in the next 2 days, and also just considering this run up, I mean, whenever there's a sharp move up, whenever there's a sharp move down, and this is a sharp move up, as you guys can all see here, there will always need to be some level of correction. So the question is, where is this going to pull back? I would look for 11.2 to be the first target. But I'd imagine as it starts to approach here over the next day or so, which is how the pullback should happen, Bitcoin and Ethereum should start to dip in the next 48 hours, in my opinion. So as that happens, I would look more towards $9 to be the first target for SNX. Let's take a quick look at the 4-hour chart. Let's see those lines, if you guys can just ignore those. But yeah, I mean, same deal. Look at the RSI on the 4-hour chart. Sky high up here. Same with the stochastic RSI. I mean, sky high. Compare it to, let me just zoom out here. Do you see how much higher that is everything? But the pullback isn't necessarily a sign to just sell off and forget about SNX. When you see this level of volume, volume, charts are news, right? You will always see the news pop up in charts before it pops up in the news. You'll see a spike in volume. A spike in volume is usually an indicator that news is coming. Sometimes it's an indicator that news just dropped. But it's something to keep an eye on, that this level of a spike in SNX is not something to ignore. It will pull back, most likely. I mean, not will. I'm just going to say most likely it's going to pull back to about this $9 target. And depending on what happens in the crypto space after that, I would look for $7 and then maybe $5. But this level of interest in something like SNX is not something to ignore. So if there is an opportunity, if I was to want to enter into a position in SNX, which I currently am not in, I was looking at it back when it was around $12, to be honest. I remember looking at SNX early May, and luckily I did not pick any up because it dropped all the way down to $5. And if the market continues to downtrend, I would imagine something similar to that happen. Maybe $7 to $5 would be a more realistic target price if there is a big crash. But I would be interested potentially in picking up a little bit of SNX if there is a large enough crash, because this level of a spike in a DeFi play is something that is not worth ignoring. So overall, those are going to be the price targets. I'm going to say about $9 in the next few days would be the landing price for SNX, which is around $12 right now. So I do quickly just want to look at the daily Ichimoku Clouds on MATIC, AAVE, and SNX. We'll do this real quick, guys. Again, I apologize this video got so long. I kind of set out hoping it would be a little shorter, but I do tend to rant. But please do leave me a comment down below, guys. This is a new channel. We're 3 days in. I will commit to daily uploads for you guys and potentially twice a day as we get rolling. But a little bit of feedback from you guys is always appreciated of how you guys feel about this longer form content. I need to figure out how to add timestamps. I know that would make things a lot easier for you guys. So just to save you guys some time, I will be looking into that today. But let's just take a quick look at these clouds. So MATIC, as you can see here, I mean, it's well below the cloud. This is a pretty thick cloud. MATIC will most likely have some struggle ahead of it still. Even right now, it's trading within the cloud, which again, if you guys aren't familiar with the Ichimoku Cloud, which I probably should have touched on earlier, it's just respect the Kumo cloud is the basic premise of the Ichimoku Cloud indicators, that you respect the Kumo cloud when it's above the cloud and the indicators are right, you go long. When it's below the cloud, you go for short positions. You make short trades, you don't hold anything long. And when it's in the cloud, you don't trade. So MATIC, it's got a bit of a journey still ahead of it, but I want to show you guys AAVE and SNX. Look at that push towards the cloud. Now the clouds are thick on AAVE and SNX, but do you see how similar they move towards the cloud? And again, like I said, I'm capping the limit for this push for both of them at the price range they're at, which is most likely going to happen, right? I mean, if you look at that, let me just zoom in for you guys. Whoops, sorry about that, guys. So if you look here, see it's already getting downwards pressure. If you look at that candle's wick on SNX and we look at AAVE, same deal. So the cloud is showing that it's pushing the prices back down. So, you know, SNX, or not SNX, sorry, AAVE has room to pump a little bit, maybe 375. It's kind of unlikely, in my opinion, with everything going in the market. I did kind of list out some prices. They can still push up a bit, but overall, I would look for, if you look at this line down here, so it would not be too surprising to see, I said $7 for SNX, I believe was the target. Let me just double check that real quick for you guys. No, I said $9. So yeah, that would make sense that around here, if you look at this price right here, let me get a price label so you guys have a better view. Actually, just forget the price label, guys. I'm just want to go through this video quick. So $9, if you look at the price, you guys can see it right above my my head there, would be the pullback price. And same with AAVE. AAVE's pullback price would be around 278, which I believe was the same price. What did I say for AAVE? AAVE, I said around 280 would be the target. So again, it is interesting to see how these different indicators do help you kind of confirm whatever you're seeing on other charts. But overall, it's interesting to see how both these DeFi plays, and here's Ethereum, which still has a bit of room to pump, but it's interesting to see how these DeFi plays are pushing up in the same way. Just something to keep an eye on, guys. But again, the Ichimoku Cloud, you got to respect the Kumo Cloud. It is saying the prices are going to be pushed back down. So $9 for SNX, showing around 950, and then AAVE, same thing, around 275, which is pretty similar to the other price targets we listed earlier. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out. If you're not following me on Twitter, Kevin Crates _ on Twitter. I'm pretty active on there. If you guys tweet at me, I always try my best to reply to everybody. If you guys aren't subscribed, please do subscribe. Please do hit the like button, guys. The more interaction with the video, the better we can grow this channel and the more effort and time I can put it into it for you guys. I have a lot of fun doing this. Even if it's just a few of you guys that show up every day, it's fun for me. I like talking about crypto, so this gives me a place to talk about crypto. If you guys are new here, again, please do hit the subscribe button. I will be back tomorrow with another video. And again, if you guys could leave a comment, a little bit of feedback about how you guys feel about longer videos versus shorter videos. I do have some other plans for content coming up that isn't exactly chart related, but we're going to dive deeper into NFTs, DeFi, and all things crypto in the future. So thanks for hanging out, guys. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. If you skimmed it to the end of the video, I also appreciate you guys. I'm out.